Well, hello out there. Yeah, I'm not sure what's eating at me more today. You got everybody still running around yakking about Ryan's plan when Romney's head of the ticket. It's his Social Security plan they're talking about. And I think it's a pretty good one myself. Then you got Holder out there. Now he's saying, we don't want to offend nobody, so we don't have to ask them for their ID when they vote, because where they come from, they might not have that custom of having to carry an ID. Well, I'm sorry, but if they're in the United States and they're from somewhere else, I think they ought to have an ID. If they're here illegally, then I think they ought to go to hell home. But that's just me. Anyway, so talking about gas prices are going to go up. It's going to be the most expensive gas prices we've ever had. Anybody ever ask why? Yeah, we had a little refinery fire out there. They're going to blame it on the refinery. Well, this is the part I don't get. Obama, he says not to worry. If we start having problems, he's going to go to the Strategic Oil Reserve, pop the top on that puppy, and take some oil out. Well, there ain't that much oil in there to start with, and I don't think we're having a problem with the supply part of it. I mean, there's nobody, Saudi Arabia ain't ramping up no more. They're still producing. Everybody's got plenty of oil, so it's not going to help. What he's hoping, it will help him get elected. But it's not. I hope it won't anyway, because I don't think American people are that dumb. The main problem with the oil prices is we got a weak dollar. The main problem with the weak dollar, the Federal Reserve just keeps giving away money, keeps pumping money, and I wish everybody would go out, and there's movies on it, there's books on it and stuff, and understand how the Federal Reserve and the bank works. If you get your head wrapped around that, life would be a lot easier for you. Well, maybe not easier for you, but at least you'll understand why we're getting such a mess. And I forget what the name of the book is. You go to my Facebook, and I think I probably got it posted there. I know I've posted it a few times and stuff, about the monster who created Jekyll Island or something like that. But Jekyll Island, 1910, is where all the rich people got together and put together the Federal Reserve. And they figured it out, how to name it, how to call it, how to get the politicians to work for it. And it's all laid out in a pretty good book. And if you want to, it's about an hour and 15-minute video. They ought to have kids watch this in school in the 6th grade, do it again in about the 10th, 9th, or 10th grade, and do it before they get out of school. And have that down pat. It'll really make you change the way you look at things, the way you do business. But anyway, price of gas. And I've been preaching about this for a long time. I got friends that are on the left, and I got friends that are, tree huggers, and I've got friends that are on the right of me that, think we ought to just take over America and redo it. So, but anyway, how about this for a plan, people? We got natural gas, got plenty of it. Well, first step back a minute. Everybody's yelling about coal. Do you realize the electric companies wanted to use natural gas back when, 30, 40 years ago? And the government stepped in and said, no, don't use natural gas. There's not enough of it to go around. It's restricted. We don't have a lot of it. Use coal. So electric companies they built fuel-burning electric companies, coal-burning electric companies. All right. Now they found, we got all kinds of natural gas. All right. If the government would take all their cars, I'm talking about sedans and what have you, light trucks, anything that runs on gasoline, convert it over to natural gas. Now, we spent billions of dollars. We lost somewhere right now. We're still in the hole for, I think, $22 billion with Chevrolet. But you take natural gas, you can convert most cars to natural gas for about $1,000. The government changes cars every 2 or 3 years. You could order it with natural gas on it. Back, it's been about 10, 12 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, Honda came out with a natural gas car, tried to sell it in the United States. And what they was going to do was they was trying to sell it to the cities that had natural gas plumbed in. A lot of us have natural gas in our homes, running our stoves and hot water heaters, and we heat our houses with it and stuff right in your house. What they have is they was going to hook you up with the thing. You take it in, you put it in your garage, you hook it into your natural gas line, you pull your car in, you fill your car up on your own. Then you just pay the utility company for the gas you burn. Well, the EPA said, no, you ain't playing that game in our state. Wouldn't let them do it. There was no place for people to get natural gas for the car, and natural gas faded out. The government didn't get behind it, and people didn't get behind it, the states didn't get behind it. But if they would get behind it, do you know how much oil you would save if just the government cars, as you maybe a highway patrols, I mean, talk about all government, state, federal, local, any place that was, in all your big cities have natural gas that I know of, all right? But nobody's talking about it. Oh, let's do wind power and let's do this and that. Wind power is fine. But the people that like wind power has already told us to change over to wind power for the United States and Canada to all be run on wind. Either Canada or the United States will have to be covered in windmills. Now, so they can. I have a feeling no, that ain't how it works. All a windmill is a generator, just like what's on your car. It's going to make so much electricity. When it breaks or the wind don't blow, or if it's raining or whatever, it'll fluctuate. They're like all solar power. That's the way to go. Same thing with it. Takes up a lot of space. Yeah, someday they'll have it efficient enough that we can do it. But when it does it, the private market will take care of it. The private market will bring them out, sell them to us. We don't need the government dumping a bunch of fuel. Do you realize what they spent on bankrupt solar power companies? In the last year, they could have converted all their federal cars over to natural gas. Now, which one would have saved us more oil? Which one would be more friendly to the environment? Just let's think about some of this stuff, people. Another thing, we got a drought going on. Well, that's bad, but it's not the worst thing. I mean, worse would happen, I guess. But they're saying now corn and grains are going to skyrocket. Big problem with corn is the farmers want to feed their livestock corn. Well, down in the south, some of us like cornbread too, but that's a different story. But the government won't release the gas companies from putting ethanol in the gas. They got to put 10% in blends and blah blah blah. All right. Now, back years ago, they used to make moonshine, which is what ethanol is. And when they'd take corn mash, they'd add sugar to it to get more alcohol. It's the sugar in corn that makes the alcohol. Because they can take corn, make a mash out of it, and that's what they used to do in the South. They made a mash out of it, got the alcohol out of it, took the mash and fed it to the livestock. Okay? They won't let us buy sugar from Brazil. Brazil's got over 90% of their automobiles on ethanol. And one of the biggest cars down there is Ford. Ford's been building ethanol cars for years. They all go to Brazil. There's a couple other places in the world. But, so why don't we buy sugar from Brazil instead of worrying about, burning up all of our corn and our cars? It just don't make sense. So, another thing I got here is DHS, Homeland Security. What's her name? Nakayaki Pakapaka, whatever her name is. Used to be the governor of Arizona. Governor in Arizona, and her ain't nothing right now. But anyway, they just put an order in for 750 million rounds of handgun rounds. Back in May, they ordered 450 million. Then you got the Social Security, they're wanting a bunch. The one that really stuck out at me was the Weather Department. Okay? Why does the National Weather Service need handguns? And what they're wanting is a 357 SIG, hollow point. Okay? Military uses a 9mm. A lot of the Homeland Security, different departments and stuff uses a 40 cal. So, but they're coming up with this 357 SIG. And I don't understand it, because one of the things that got me, all of them are hollow points. And most of them, well, you're spreading hollow points. Now, I'll give you a hollow point when it hits a person. It spreads out more, it slows down, a lot less likely to punch a hole all the way through you. But if our borders are secure, nobody's getting over here, and we don't have nobody attacking us, because see, the military, they got to use a full metal jacket. Looks something like that. Full metal jacket. Alright? What these people are ordering looks like this. It's a hollow point. See the serrated sides on it? I don't know if you got a good picture of it or not. What that does is it helps us expand out faster. Okay? Now that's a 45. That's on my automatic. But anyway, 357 SIG. 357, about this size. What they done, 357, actually, it began its life as a 38. And then depends on who you're listening to, who you're talking to. The hunters wanted a bigger round to carry. So they came out with 357. It's just a stretch 38. This is a 38 special. Alright? A little bit bigger. Let me see that. Same diameter. But, okay. This is also a revolver round. 357 revolver. That's gun there is a 357 Blackhawk. It has a rim on it right here. Okay? The 357 SIG, basically the same load, perform about the same. What they done is to put it in automatic, they had to go in and take the ridge off and put that indent in it right there. See that indent? That's why when automatic, that's how it grabs it and it spills around. Next one chamber spills around. Next one chambers. I don't understand why they came out and they can't have normal rounds. They're like, oh, well, this is just practice rounds. Why do you need such an expensive round for a practice round? This round here and this round here comes out of the same 45 auto, right? This full metal jacket. This is your expanding hollow point. This round will cost you about 2.5 times what this round does. So if you're going to shoot millions and millions of rounds for target practice, why don't they buy the cheaper ones? I don't know. Then I said, well, the 357, they want stopping power. Well, how much more stopping power than a 9mm or 40 cal do you want? Okay? This is a 380 round. 9mm, this is a 9mm by 17mm. The 9mm Beretta shoots a 19 by 19, a little bit longer. You know, kind of like 38 and 357. A little bit longer, quite a bit more power. If you want a really stopping power, why don't they just go to get something like this? This is a good old 44 mag. That's got stopping power. They make them in hollow point, however you want to make them. This is pretty much spreads. I got these around for deer hunting. Pretty good round for deer hunting. So, kind of makes you wonder kind of what the feds got up, what they're up to. Another thing they order is a bunch of these. If I got one here, 223. This is what your military uses, and they call it a 5.56. The difference between a 223 and a 5.56, the true rounds, the 5.56 came out. There's a hotter round. Before that, they called it a 223. Exact same size, same round. Okay, this is what the military uses. If you'll notice, this is a 22. Very good little gun. See, not much bigger. A lot more powder, a lot longer round. It's got a boat tail. Diameter wise, not much difference. But anyway, that's kind of what I was kind of curious about. That why they come up with a, look like to me that all settle on one gun, one round. A different manufacturer makes different guns and all this stuff. I'm kind of curious where they're going to buy their guns at. I hope they buy American, but I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of my food for thought for tonight, people. Peace out.